Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever watched competitive ballroom, you already know there's a wild contrast in how the different dances actually look out there on the floor. Between the sequins, the feathers, and the blinding lights, there's a highly structured, intensely athletic reality going on beneath the surface. Today, we're stepping onto the hardwood to decode the two massive umbrellas of dance, standard and Latin. We're going to break down exactly what makes these categories so profoundly distinct, getting right down into the mechanics, the physics, and the raw fundamentals.
You know, there's this famous saying in the dance world: the look on the floor can feel like two different sports. And honestly, that is the absolutely perfect way to frame our discussion today. While Latin and standard both fall under the broad, technical umbrella of competitive ballroom, they demand entirely different body actions, totally different partner frames, and a completely shifted performance energy. To a trained eye, it's literally like watching two different athletic events that just happen to be sharing the exact same floor.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll hit two different sports, comparing music and mood, technique and movement style, the partner frame, the dance rosters, and finally, choosing your style. Let's dive in.
Section 1. Two different dance sports.
The stark division here really comes down to three main pillars: different body actions, different partner frames, and vastly different performance energy. It's kind of like comparing a marathon runner to an Olympic gymnast, right? Both are peak athletes, for sure. But the marathon runner relies on sustained, continuous energy, while the gymnast relies on explosive, highly isolated bursts. Mastering the poised, sweeping drive of one style doesn't just automatically translate to the other. You're dealing with completely distinct physical demands and muscle groups to achieve a totally different expressive quality.
Section 2. Comparing music and mood.
Okay, so the auditory experience is the bedrock for everything we see happening. In standard, you've got smooth, flowing rhythms, sweeping orchestral arrangements that dictate a mood of pure glide and poise. Latin, on the exact other hand, is fueled by percussive, accent-driven music. Think intense drum lines and heavy syncopation. It demands a highly visceral, expressive response from the dancers, forcing sharper movements, sudden freezes, and a much more overt character performance.
Section 3. Technique and movement style.
In standard dancing, everything prioritizes what's called rise and fall, along with a really controlled body sway. The goal is seamless, effortless-looking motion. Picture the smooth, swinging arc of a grandfather clock's pendulum. Dancers use incredibly complex, continuous footwork, rolling beautifully from the heel to the toe to literally swing their bodies across the floor. And let me tell you, it takes immense leg strength to make that level of continuous travel look totally effortless. Conversely, Latin technique relies heavily on grounded weight changes, clear timing to sharp accents, and distinct hip actions, often referred to as Cuban motion. So unlike that continuous pendulum swing, Latin movements are highly stylized and set. Dancers use profound body isolations, like their rib cage might be moving in a completely different rhythm than their hips. And they utilize these sudden, dramatic stops, just freezing on a dime. That requires massive core strength. When you put them side by side, you see a fundamental difference in how they manage gravity and physics. Standard is all about continuous travel and elegant sway, harnessing momentum to basically hover over the floor. Latin is all about stylized stops and grounded hip action. They press down into the floor to create explosive energy back upward. Basically, one style defies gravity and the other weaponizes it.
Section 4. The partner frame.
The physical connection is where things get incredibly obvious to anyone watching. Standard uses a traditional sustained partner shape. It's highly structured with mandatory central body contact. They share a center of gravity with 5 specific points of contact, steering across the floor like one giant unified ship. The Latin frame, though, is an open, lighter connection. It's elastic. It breathes. Sometimes it's literally just a one-hand connection, which allows vital room for those strong individual hip actions. It feels much more like a back-and-forth conversation rather than a single moving unit. Section 5. The dance rosters. Depending on the competition rules, here is the typical breakdown you'll see on the floor. For standard, we have the elegant waltz, the dramatic tango, the dizzyingly fast Viennese waltz, the jazzy foxtrot, and the flying quickstep. Over in the Latin category, the roster features the syncopated cha-cha-cha, the bouncing samba, the romantic rumba, the powerful paso doble, and the high-energy jive. Now, because these underlying mechanics are so dramatically opposed, switching between standard and Latin is no joke. It means retraining your fundamentals entirely. You have to relearn how you use your upper body, how you place weight through your feet, and how your brain interprets musical accents.
Seriously, it's notoriously frustrating for dancers to switch shoes and immediately feel like they've forgotten how to walk.
Section 6. Choosing your style.
So, if you're deciding which one to learn first, the crucial point is just to ask yourself, what do you actually enjoy watching the most? Are you captivated by standards, extended lines, and elegant traveling motion? Or are you drawn to Latin's rhythm, expression, and bold body styling? The music that genuinely makes you want to tap your foot is absolutely your best compass here.
While many dedicated dancers do eventually train in both, a category known as 10 dance, the gold standard recommendation is to start by building a strong base in just one category first. Because the upper body usage and weight placement are literal polar opposites, picking a lane lets you cement those fundamentals deep into your muscle memory without confusing your body. Master the basics first and expand from there. We've decoded the intricate mechanics, felt the dramatic difference in the music, and explored the highly distinct energy of these two incredible branches of dance. They truly are two completely different sports sharing one highly polished floor. So, considering everything we've unpacked today, standard or Latin, which will you step onto the floor to try first? Keep these physics and frames in mind next time you watch a competition, and you'll see the floor in a whole new way. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.